Welcome. This is the Contreras Report, International Edition, October 1st. I'm Raul Lowry Contreras. The world breathed a sigh of relief when Indian and Chinese troops quit shooting at each other in the Himalaya mountains on the border between the two giant countries. Within days, however, fighting broke out in the well-known mountains to the west in the Caucasus region when Armenian forces attacked Azerbaijan, leading to another full-blown war between the two countries. Why this attack and why now? I'll explain that here in the latest escalation of the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. 11 weeks after Armenian forces attacked Azerbaijan's northwest Tovus District on the border between Armenia and Azerbaijan, killing soldiers and civilians alike, Armenian forces attacked Azerbaijan again on the 27th of September. The Armenian attacks were directed at 4 Azerbaijani districts that adjoin the Azerbaijani territory and 7 adjacent districts Armenia has illegally occupied for the last 27 years. Within hours of the attacks, Armenia's government declared martial law and full total military mobilization. As a result of these and sudden and unprovoked attacks, during which Armenia deployed its artillery and large caliber weapons against both military and civilian structures and targets, 15 Azerbaijani civilians, including children, have been killed and 50 other people injured. During the latest aggression, Armenia's artillery did not even spare schools, hospitals, or homes for disabled people. To counter the attacks and protect its civilian population, Azerbaijan undertook counteroffensive measures, defense, and liberated 6 different villages in the Fuzuli and Jabrayil districts that had been under Armenia's military occupation since 1993. Armenia and Azerbaijan have been locked in conflict since the early 1990s when Armenia invaded and occupied 20% of Azerbaijan. The occupied areas were, quote, ethnically cleansed, unquote, of their Azerbaijani population. 800,000 Azerbaijanis. They are still internally displaced in Azerbaijan, and the ongoing Armenian occupation does not allow them to return to their homes. For 30 years, for 30 years they've denied the people the right to go home. The UN Security Council passed 4 separate resolutions in 1993 condemning the Armenian occupation and demanding Armenian forces leave the occupied territories of Azerbaijan, which Armenia ignored. They've ignored the resolutions, having a strong backing of Russia. Russia and Armenia are allies. Unlike Azerbaijan, Armenia is a member of the Russian-led military bloc Collective Security Treaty Organization that positions itself against NATO, the North American Treaty Organization. With 5,000 troops, the Russian military base in Armenia is one of the largest military Russian bases in the world. They guard Armenia's land borders and airspace. Azerbaijan, on the other side, got rid of Russian bases in 1993. Following the occupation of Azerbaijan's territories, Armenia installed a regime in the occupied areas, calling it the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. This republic is not recognized by any country in the entire world. Nagorno-Karabakh, that includes Armenia, by the way. Nagorno-Karabakh is internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan. Why did Armenia attack Azerbaijan? Why did Armenia attack Azerbaijan in July along the two countries' international border in an area that is 300 kilometers north of the occupied Karabakh region? The answer might lie in a vow Armenian Defense Minister David Tonoyan made in 2019. Quote, "New wars for new territories," unquote. He accompanied this assertion with abandonment of the many-year-old Armenian, quote, "trench defense," unquote, strategy for a new policy led by serious upgrading of offensive military capabilities, backed by the Russian military, of course, the Russian military and its weaponry. More than 500 tons of weapons and ammunition were delivered by way of Iran after the July combat, for example. That's just for example that we know of. Proof of this new aggressiveness is the July confrontations far from the occupied territories. 300 kilometers away from those occupied territories is a long way. So why did Armenia attack the Tovus District in July? Observers of the Caucasus region know why. Armenia and its U.S. lobby in the United States, the U.S. lobby having continuously tried to impede Azerbaijan's energy and foreign trade activities by protesting any U.S. financial government involvement in rail, oil, and natural gas projects that Azerbaijan has or is building to export products, oil, and natural gas, activities that benefit the West beyond description. Armenia disputes these projects and efforts because it says Azerbaijan is building pipelines via the Republic of Georgia, bypassing Armenia. Construction Armenia should participate in because pipeline miles would be shorter to Turkey and the Mediterranean Sea and the Balkans from Azerbaijan than around Armenia. This avoidance of Armenia costs transit fee cash it desperately needs. Armenia is an economic basket case. It is losing population and it cannot afford the military adventures it has undertaken. In Syria, for example, helping Bashar Assad's regime and the continuing importation of Syrian and Lebanese Armenians, ethnic Armenians, and settling colonizing of these foreigners in the internationally recognized territories of Azerbaijan. This colonization of Azerbaijani territory by imported Armenians reminds one of the historical ethnic colonizations the Russian Empire and Soviet Russia implemented in the Karabakh region 100 years ago by relocating Armenians from Iran and Turkey there, at the expense of the region's ancient Azerbaijani population. The July attack on Azerbaijan was meant as a deflection of attention to the illegal Geneva Convention violations of settling Armenian foreign-born on Azerbaijani national territory. It was intended to warn Azerbaijan of what might happen if Armenia's new aggressiveness and illegal colonization in Nagorno-Karabakh and adjacent districts is interfered with. Warning about what? Answer: the vulnerability of Azerbaijan's multi-billion-dollar pipelines and delivery systems that move Azerbaijani oil and natural gas west to Turkey, to Israel, and soon to the Balkans, Italy, and other European countries that presently depend on Russian oil and natural gas. Those existing and soon-to-open pipelines run through the very Tovus District Armenia attacked in July. Armenia's future is bleak. It has less than 3 million people and is losing population. Its budget is composed mostly of Russian cash and remittances from abroad. 30% of its gross domestic product and few natural resources. Armenia's prime minister, who was installed by protesting mobs, staked out Armenia's present aggressive stance on its occupation of Azerbaijani territory by demanding, quote, reunification, unquote, of Armenia and Azerbaijan's Nagorno-Karabakh territory, and proclaimed in an August 5th, 2019 speech that, quote, Artsakh, that's Nagorno-Karabakh in Armenian, and is Armenian, and that's it, the Prime Minister said. In that speech in Nagorno-Karabakh, Pashinyan led chants of Miatsum, Miatsum, which translates to, quote, unification, unification, with Armenia. Countering that is Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev's declaration of, quote, Karabakh is Azerbaijan, and exclamation mark. Will Russian-provided Armenian big guns settle the 3-decade-old conflict, or will calm outsiders, the US, France, and Russia, help real diplomats settle a dispute that festers in these Caucasus mountains? Several Western nations and their energy sources, as well as heretofore Russian oil and gas monopoly that strangles Eastern Europe, are affected, as well as peace among the Caucasus nations that have been involved in military confrontations for almost 3 decades, 30 years. Besides, the civilized world watching this situation with great interest are the 800,000 displaced Azerbaijanis who were forced from their homes by Armenians, who in turn now live in those homes and territories despite 4 separate United Nations Security Council resolutions demanding Armenia abandon Azerbaijan's territory and return to its internationally recognized borders. Armenia and Azerbaijan need to settle their conflict. We pray, we in the West pray, that that happens soon. Thank you for being there. This is the Contreras Report International Edition. I'm Raul Lowry Contreras, and we'll be with you in a few days. In the meantime, if you want to contact me, my email address is posted at the end of the program. Thank you for being there.